So today we're going to cover the exciting element of in-text citations. When writing, it is important to reference the original authors of the works that we are using for our discussions in our papers. Now, before we move forward, I want to make a point of why I chose to use the word reference and not quote. As writers, we are not only supposed to provide documentation in text for those direct quotes that we use. Those are the exact words of the original author. However, we should also provide documentation in text for opportunities when we paraphrase or summarize the author's works. Paraphrasing involves putting a passage from a source in your own words. This can be a paragraph of a source's work that you morphed into your own words to work in your particular writing. Summarizing involves putting a particular idea or several ideas into your work. This could be the main idea that the author had intended to use, or several different structural ideas and elements that the author has used. Any thoughts or ideas that are not originally ours need to be cited in text. If it's not a part of what you refer to as your common knowledge, and that's what you knew before you started researching the topic, then you must give appropriate credit where credit is due. To format an in-text citation in MLA 8 formatting standards, you should first gather your necessary information. The two main ingredients are going to be the author's last name and the page number. These two elements will be put in parentheses before the next major punctuation in your sentence. You should not include any additional commas or other information. You just need the last name, a space, and the number for the page number. You don't include any additional information. You can see an example on your screen now of what an in-text citation would look like for a direct quote. If I mention the author's last name in the sentence that I am writing, however, I only need to cite the page number of that particular source. Because your in-text citation has already included in the sentence that author's last name. You can see an example of this on your screen now. There are a couple of rules that we should abide by when referencing authors. You should never reference an author by his or her first name only.
Michael! Michael!
In addition, you should not address them as Mr. or Mrs. or Miss. While we typically do this in our conversational speaking and it's very polite, we don't need to do this in academic writing. You either address authors or other people by their last name only or their first and last name as you are writing. Another question that we often are asked is, what if I get the source from an electronic site that doesn't have a page number? For instance, if you're asked to get an article from bbc.com, how should you cite that source if there is no page number? The answer is that you don't make up your own page numbers, that you just leave that part out. So if there is an author, you provide the author's last name, and that is the only in-text citation that you will need. Another question we are often asked is, what should we do if we come across an article that does not have an author listed? Addressing this question has a two-pronged approach. First, if the article is anonymously written, you can choose to use the title of the article in the sentence. This would provide your article with an in-text citation. Since it's electronic, there is no need to include a page number. If you were to cite the title of the article in a parenthetical citation at the end of the sentence, you would only use the first couple of words of the article title in quotations in parentheses. Regardless of the approach that you choose, a good rule of thumb to remember is that your in-text citations should correspond to your works cited page. If there is an author, the in-text citation should reflect that author's last name, just like that author's last name will be the first word of the citation entry on the works cited page. If, however, there is no author, the in-text citation should reference the title of the article or document, just like the works cited citation would start with the title of the article or document. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great day.